Hi, Tiffany from BookishBelles here, and today I will be reviewing a book I just finished last night. It's called Over You by McLaughlin and Nicola Kraus. It is a young adult novel. It looked really promising and really pretty. Look at it. It's a pretty book. I'm gonna start off being completely upfront. I give this book 3 out of 5 stars, which for me, I guess, really low rating. Because as I've said before, I don't generally dislike things like stories. I either love them or I'm blah about them. So I guess it's a blah one. For one thing, this book had a really promising premise. You have the main character, Max, who suffered from this really big heartbreak from her ex-boyfriend, Hugo, which is unfolding through the story, finding out what happened there. And she decides to get over it and then market a way to get over heartbreak. She opens up this company called X Inc. And it has a program designed to help girls get over their boyfriends in like 2 weeks or so. And like I said, that's a very exciting premise, especially if a girl who's went through her share of heartbreak. Yeah, sign me up for X Inc. But it's just poorly executed. For one thing, she has all this stuff that she buys for her clients and for herself, but it doesn't make any sense because she doesn't charge and she has no funding and she doesn't come from a very rich family, so I don't understand where all the money for any of this is coming from. I mean, she gives it a hand wave and is like, oh, our first client was very grateful and gave us a lot of money. And it's like, oh, it still doesn't really make that much sense. But okay. And another thing is, I wouldn't hire X Inc. Not with Max heading it, I wouldn't. I don't know, she's weird and detached and gets really personal, and I don't like her. Which is something that this book had a problem with. I don't like a single character in this book. I don't like Max. I don't like her love interest Ben or her best friend Zach or her ex-boyfriend Hugo. Oh, we're not supposed to like Hugo. But I don't like anyone in it. It's written in third person present tense, which I feel is a very difficult voice to get. And it switches points of views like that just so easy, just from one person to the other person. You never know what, no segue in between. It just goes, oh, we're Max, now we're Ben, now we're Max, in like 2 paragraphs. And I find that really confusing. And I don't care about the characters at all. Like, Max could have stepped out from a bus on the 3rd page, or the last page, and I would not care. She's so flat and detached and boring, and she reads like everyone else in the book. There's no distinct voice for anyone, and I don't understand her motivation, and I don't understand any of the characters' motivation. I don't understand a thing about this book. And I had such high hopes for it, and it's such a letdown. Like I said, it had such an entertaining premise, and it just badly done. And I've never read anything else by these authors. Apparently they wrote The Nanny Diaries, which I know was a movie. That's about the extent of my knowledge on that. I won't be picking that up, though, because this was a waste of time. Okay, that's a little harsh. It wasn't a waste of time. I enjoyed it. I will never read it again, and these characters won't stay with me. I probably won't even ever think about any of the characters again. The X Inc. thing and the program to get over your exes, that might stay with me. But all these characters could literally be anyone, anytime, anywhere, and it wouldn't change the story at all. It's weak. It's a weak story. It's a weak book. But if that's your kind of thing, then go ahead. And like I said, it's really pretty. And the book itself is really pretty. This is from the library, so you probably cannot see in here. No, this is getting awkward. And it's really, really short. It's not even 300 pages, if that tells you anything about book and length. If you want to read it, go ahead. It just didn't impress me. Maybe I'm just reading too much, young adult contemporary, because it's something I've noticed with the last couple ones that I've read, is they've all been major letdowns, like Perfect Chemistry, which I put up last week. That was a pretty big letdown. And The Unwritten Rule by Elizabeth Scott, that was just unpleasant to sit through. And now, Over You is not my cup of tea either, and maybe I'm just outgrowing the genre. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe I should take a break and read something that's not contemporary romance for a while. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a funk. Check out what my friend Grace got me. It's this little Hello Kitty, and she's got a little book, and look at her. Woo! She's reading. I don't know if you can tell, but the book is moving up and down. Look at that. Yeah, that's how I read. Have a little fits.